It's a bit of a basis update here. Something which has been very interesting is, apart from me finding another T-shirt, I know what I saw. It's from the movie from a few years ago. Uh, there's a very good website which actually went down the other day, and this is it here. It's real-time radiation world map, and there's one little. This was happening. We're talking about March the 24th. So very good map. This there is one little alarm there, and then we have all these ones in Europe, and we are having a consistent alert in a little place called Hatfield. Now, this is an area of England. Let's see if we can get this full scale. There. So this is really getting really quite serious. Now, this has been going on for ages. A couple of weeks ago, there was an earthquake, a quake in, a road collapsed on the road to RAF Lynham. It's actually not RAF anymore. It's REME. So it's a REME base. Now, Julie Phelps got me onto this site, and there was over 1,050 microsilvers in the Wootton Bassett Geiger counter. So a really wonderful forward-thinking woman here in Devizes, who I know very well, she went and phoned up Wootton Bassett and says, "Hey, do you not realize there's whacker radiation in your area?" And they didn't, because they didn't know about this website. And this website's gmcmap.com. And if you want to find out what's going on all around the world with their registered Geiger counters, you can do that. So we had about 3 days. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had right through to Monday. That's 4 days or so. We had a big spike on the Wootton Bassett Geiger counter, because Gene Decode on the 28th, I think, of February, he made an announcement, or said that there had been a deep underground military base blown up in Wiltshire. And he showed the pictures of this road, which is all twisted and buckled up. It's the road to Lynham, and it's completely wrecked. And it's been so severely damaged, the road is dangerous and closed, even for walking onto it. And it's even in the local paper here 2 weeks later, and they're still talking about it, because the road is completely distorted. And so Gene Decode said that the deep underground military base there had been taken out. And the Geiger counter at Wootton Bassett was going up to 1,000 plus. Now, the whole point about that is that in terms of the figures, if it goes above 100, you need to get iodine. Okay. So, cutting a long story short, that happened. It disappeared conveniently at 5 o'clock, just before the close of the working day, as if somebody put a lid on something. And there's very little radiation there now. I mean, normally the radiation background is like 10 or maybe 20 or 30, or depending on the radon area, whatever, you know. So, but we've got this situation up in Hatfield. Now, the thing about this is, let's see if we can get this. I can't actually get that. See if we can get those figures bigger. Let's see if we can get this bigger. And that's just getting it zoomed in more. So that actually doesn't increase the resolution of the actual marker. That is where the marker is at Hatfield, and that is reading over 5,000 microsilvers. And if you go across the region, now that one, that is jumping back down again. It's very difficult to get these. That's been up to, that one there is 10,000. That's 6,000. And that's about 4,000. So in that area, just southeast of Leeds, you have got a whacking dose of radiation. And that's it. Get your iodine pills if you're driving up the M1 or the A1, and you're in the Hatfield area and Pontefract and just south of Leeds, because there's one heck of a lot of radiation there. The other thing which happened in the last week or so is the passing of a really dear friend, and I did a special tape on this. I managed to, that's it, Tom Hardy, that's a.k.a. Brian Johnson, or it's Brian Johnson, a.k.a. Tom Hardy. Now, he was on the Mi Amigo, which is it's the actual original ship that the Radio Caroline had. That was Radio Caroline South, and that was on the air until the late 70s when it finally sank, and there's a big ballyhoo about it. And then Tom Hardy came over to the brilliant pirate radio stations in Ireland, absolutely fantastic radio stations, wonderful time. And he joined Sunshine Radio, and around about early 1982, he jumped ship, so to speak, from Sunshine Radio and joined a fantastic radio station called Radio Nova. Now, Sunshine Radio was run by Robbie Dale and some people from Radio Caroline in the old days. Robbie Dale was on the ship when it stayed on air in August 31st, what it was, 1967. And a long time later, at the end of the 1970s, he was able to start a really brilliant station right on the coast on North Dublin and broadcast to the whole of Ireland on 539 kilohertz. It was absolutely fantastic signal, really at the long wave end of the band. And that got a fantastic signal out, mainly for Dublin, but also blasting right into Britain. And it gave Britain a flavour of really great radio, because radio in Britain was absolutely disastrous. Independent broadcast, the ILR stations, a nightmare. So Tom, cutting a long story short, was at Radio Nova. And then he came to my radio station at the end of the 1980s. That's 1988, January 1988, when we were getting KISS 103.7 on the air, and he was our station manager. Thanks to Brian Johnson, no relation, not Brian Johnson, Brian Robertson, who knew Tom very well. Brian Robertson had worked on The Voice of Peace, and he helped set up KISS FM, and he also did a whole lot of work at Radio Nova, and eventually came up to Belfast, where he lived, and got a job. And while I was getting a job, I was working for the BBC. And then we built KISS FM 103.7 in Monaghan, and we had a hell of a good time. It was the most fantastic experience to be able to do that. Anyway, he died on the 2nd of March. So that's to all of my people in pirate radio. Bless you. Okay, and this is the actual radio station. Here we have, if we can get this. Oh, come on. And there it is. KISS FM 103.7. And that's the original phone cover that we got those great calls from Charlie Van Dyke and a whole pile of other people. So that's that. There's actually there's an up-to-date sticker of Radio Caroline here. I can show you that. That's Radio Caroline online, on DAB, 648 AM on a former World Service transmitter on the east of England. So that's that. The other little thing is that I've done a bit of a shout out for the last batch of Bases 2021 mugs. And this is Carl. I shouldn't maybe show your address. This is Carl. He's responded to the email today, and he's bought a mug. There's only a few left. If you want a Bases 2021 mug, you have to have been there to get one of these things. It's not available for anybody else unless you actually made it. Okay? So what I'm doing is I've just been doing a huge re-edit of Bases 37, which had the really important stuff that Max Spears had to say at Broadstairs and Canterbury, and also when they came to stay, Max and Sarah came to stay at Well Cottage, and we recorded a number of interviews there, a total of 7, I think, and that was way back in May and June, I think, early sort of springtime 2014. We never aired the first and second hours, and Vanessa has seen them, and that's Max's mother, and there's a lot of stuff in there which has to see the light of day. So that's up on Brighteon. It's only on Brighteon. If you want to see any of the lectures, only on Brighteon. Brighteon is a place to see the Bases lectures. They've allocated a full 1,000 spaces on that platform, and I'll be filling it up with some of the more crucial bases and also the more modern ones, which I'm slowly getting up. We've sort of we find quite a few of the edits. We find Peter Paget's very important presentations at the Warminster Thing, and they're on Rumble, and I think they're on BitChute, and I think they may even be on the Bases Censored, at the Bases. Okay, I've got 3 sites still on YouTube. One of them is the Bases Project backup site, and that was just simply called the Bases Project. But they've hit us hard on a couple of news items there, so it's called Bases Censored from now on, for as long as it stays up there. The Bases Restricted site was originally just to sort of keep a parking site for stuff that if people wanted a particular thing that people wanted to see privately, but that didn't really work out, so it's now just called Bases Restricted, and I've bulk loaded a lot of the early Bases stuff onto Bases Restricted. So if you want to see a lot of stuff, because it's taken so long to get these things done, for instance, I've spent about 2 weeks completely re-editing from scratch those shots, those recordings we did at Broadstairs, and they're only available on Brighteon. Okay. Now, in the news, there's a brilliant broadcast magazine thing. People are talking about the Matrix. We're talking about virtual reality. We're talking about how Biden and all these other people are broadcasting from a studio. And the broadcasting industry has actually said that, there are concerns that the resolution of artificial computer animated completely fake images of anybody or anything is up to such a high resolution now that they can actually have literally an animated puppet in a studio, or just somebody wearing the relevant sensors, and they can be anybody. And the concerns that that's actually happening. But this particular magazine is it's one of these. There's a whole pile of stuff on video on demand. And they're talking about how, the whole television industry is going to move into everyone from big government bodies to local businesses should consider a video on demand strategy. Basically, this is taking the humans out of broadcasting and shoving it all in with these cameras and stuff, which I've got a couple because they're very useful for remote control and all that. It's a very good magazine. But they're now talking about the mere human, that they've now denigrated all broadcast staff to just a mere human. And that's the industry that's going to bring you the Matrix. And I can tell you that look at that, advertising, this is all chroma keyed out, advertising to the avatars. So this is the broadcast industry, this is it in physical construction, the Matrix. It's all here. And it's a very technical magazine. It's Grass Valley Media University, a digitally connected community. I mean, this is where, we're losing it from the people. So if there aren't going to be people doing things, it's just going to be mere humans doing it. Who's it really going to be broadcasting to? And this is the power, this is the industry pushing the actual mechanisms of how you will be an avatar, you will be a virtual mere human, while the cyborgs get on with the actual stuff. Julie Phelps has reported now that they have now installed 6G up in free. They're bypassing 5G, going straight to 6G. So the other thing is, which is extremely disturbing today, I've seen them with Dark Journalist, is some really good stuff from Dark Journalist, how Elon Musk has now declared war on Russia, and he's now weaponizing the SpaceX and Tesla to deprive Russians of transport by switching their cars off, and also taking the Starlink satellites so they will be able to actively use drones to attack Russian troops. Now, this means that a corporate CEO has now decided to declare war on a country and weaponize space. That means SpaceX is now a weaponized attack system against a particular country. I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm not going to say much more on that. Anyway, just keep a look at those radiation readings southeast of Leeds. They are huge. People in that area should be taking iodine. Maybe somebody could let me know why they are so high in the world in that particular part of England. And I've got a heck of a lot of editing to do. We are preparing for this. One major thing that's happened is that the Manchester gig that Sandra Shufflebottom had organised, that has been cancelled. There is a possibility that's on April the 16th. That has been cancelled. That's the one with the big Tesla tower. A few people had applied for tickets and she's given back the thing. The bottom line is that the venue, it was just anyway, it hasn't happened. Maybe the alternative view may be able to take that slot. So do look after for updates on that from the UK column. The UK column have also mentioned that there's a new law where the government can attack and shut down private video servers because they don't like what you're saying. So the ability to have any kind of independent thinking or any kind of creative input into the way you think your world is being taken away from us day by day. Also, obviously, those loads of freedom fighters and people who decide to actually protest, have legitimate protest, now they've been jailed. And hats off to the Lords. They blocked the bill for stopping any kind of protest on the basis it might be noisy. So the Lords are useful for some important things. That's it for now. And this has been a long one, but watch out for those radiation readings south of Leeds.